thanks for watching my channel. I'm Caroline and today I wanted to talk to you about fakes, dupes, derivatives, inspired buys, and repurposings. Is there a difference? Yes. And why should we care? If you are new here and you are into fashion, accessories, vlogs, and just general ramblings, please consider subscribing down below and giving this video a thumbs up, and let's get going. So when I am talking about fakes, I'm talking about something that is straight up, you know it's shady, you know it's illegal, you know it's, wrong. That's when, you think of someone opens the back of their trunk and it's just full of, sad bags in plastic that are labeled designer, Fendi, Louis Vuitton, Chanel. Those are, very common fake bags. These are bags that are labeled with the Louis Vuitton logo. They're labeled with the Gucci logo. They're labeled with a company's trademark, and they are trying to pass itself off as that bag. There are going to be people out there, and maybe even people watching this video, that are going to think, well, why does it even matter? Chanel makes so much money. I can't afford Chanel prices. I will never be able to afford Chanel prices. I just want a fake Chanel bag. Why do you like Chanel? Why do you like Louis Vuitton? Why do you like designer brands? There's quality, first of all, but there's also the brand and the logoing. Do you have to pay $6,000 to get a well-made bag? Absolutely not. Because a lot of that $6,000 goes toward the goodwill that Chanel has created. They're a powerhouse brand. They've put in a lot of, marketing, etc. And yeah, they are making a lot of money. But a lot of the money is put towards, trying to shut down this illegal counterfeit industry. I just looked it up and I am a little blown away because I didn't expect it to be as bad as it is, even before, deciding to film about this. Apparently, the counterfeit industry is a $450 billion industry. If you're saying, oh, that doesn't have any impact on these large designer brands, then you're smoking something, and I want some, because if you're living in that delusional world, that is a big impact. I also want to urge you to think about this. When you are saying, oh, it's okay for, to Robin Hood from the rich because, they have enough money, it doesn't matter. That weakens the protections for smaller businesses and smaller brands. There are nuances that I'm not going to get to in this video, but just so we all know, usually what comes into play is trademark law. That's a little logo, that's, whatever that is going to symbolize a company's goodwill. Trademarks are important to a brand. They symbolize a brand's promise that a good will be of a certain quality. And when you have fakes that are typically poorly made because they're just trying to churn out money, trying to churn out a profit, they're not going to be, handcrafting a fake bag. And, that is an issue because someone might see, oh, that's a Louis Vuitton bag. That looks terrible. I don't want to buy that. When it turns out to be a fake, they get into a mindset of thinking, oh, Louis Vuitton bags look bad. And that's not Louis Vuitton. That's a fake bag. And I'll even share my own anecdote. For a very long time, I did not want to own a Louis Vuitton bag. I did not want any logoed, any monogrammed items from that brand because a lot of counterfeit products are made in China. And I didn't want people to look at me and think, oh, well, that's obviously a fake bag because she's, of Chinese heritage, she's Asian, which is, terrible. So the whole idea of buying fake goods and supporting the counterfeit industry has larger ramifications than just, oh, it's a luxury brand and it's not gonna make a difference if I buy a fake product. It feeds into, greater cultural issues that I won't get into too deeply, but I'm just trying to give examples of the fact of why buying fake is bad. When a smaller brand tries to enforce its intellectual property, tries to enforce its IP, its trademarking, it makes it harder for, you know, investigatory teams to support smaller brands because they're out there trying to take down, you know, these larger operations that are replicating, you know, Chanel's, etc. So there are, you know, greater ripples than just, oh, it's Chanel, they don't need my money. If you have an issue with buying Chanel prices, with buying at, you know, Louis Vuitton prices, at Gucci prices, I urge you to consider buying on the pre-loved market. I cannot change your mind if you have it set on buying a fake product. But just think about this. There's a reason why you want that brand name. And part of that brand name comes from the strength of that brand's trademark. And when you're buying a fake, you're devaluing the very item that you're trying to emulate. So just think about that. You know, look in yourself and think about, do you really want to be the kind of person that's, you know, contributing to, like, I don't know, some crazy crime ring? There is something called gray market fakes, and that is really fascinating to me. Don't buy them either. But what makes gray market fakes so interesting is that typically they are made in the same factory out of the same products and the same fabrics, same, you know, labor as the actual designer piece, but they are not approved. So for example, let's say Gucci orders 1,000 bags from a factory. This factory makes 1,000 Gucci bags, and they're like, we have leftover material. They make another 100 of the same Gucci bags, but they sell it out of the back of their alley. That's a gray market fake. So, you know, Gucci orders 1,000 bags, but the factory makes 1,100. 100 of those are gray market fakes. So they're as real as you can get. They're made in the same factory, same materials, same labor, but they're not authorized by the brand. And those are what's really, those are the kind of fakes that people who don't buy fakes buy, if that makes any sense. So there are people out there who are like, you know, I don't buy fake bags because of the quality issue. You don't have that quality issue with the gray market fakes. The issue that you have is that it's not authorized. Supposedly brands have, you know, a list of serial numbers of bags that they produce in certain seasons, and they can verify, you know, this serial number was matched with this, with this, with this. I don't really know the details, and they're very hush-hush about a lot of the authentication process. The more transparent companies are about their authentication process, the easier it is for people to replicate and duplicate and fake a bag. So dupes are not straight up illegal. There is more of a gray area, and I want to urge you, if you are a creator of items, you know, don't take what I'm saying at its face. Consult a lawyer, consult legal, because the inquiry behind whether something is illegal or not, if that is very fact intensive, and that's part of the reason why it's so difficult to, you know, crack down, and because it's just so expensive to enforce. But I digress. Anyway, go find a lawyer. Don't rely on what I'm saying. This is not intended to be advice for you. This is just me editorializing, talking about, you know, my thoughts on the state of the industry as a whole, not specific to you. So dupes. Dupes are more of a gray area because a dupe is not necessarily trying to be that brand. They're not taking that brand's trademark or logo and saying, oh yeah, this is a Celine bag, this is a Louis Vuitton bag. They're just replicating the design, generally speaking. So I bought this bag from Daily Look, and it was a dupe for the Celine luggage bag. That's a dupe because Daily Look is not putting Celine's brand on it and saying, look, this is a Celine bag. That would be a fake. Daily Look is saying, hey, look at our bag. It's so cute. Oh, it just happens to look like this Celine bag. So that's a gray area. There was also this incident where I wore these shoes from Shoe Dazzle. I will also try to find a picture here. I've since sold those shoes, in part because of this situation. So I started at a new job, I wore these shoes to work, and the VP of the company was like, "Oh, are you wearing Valentino shoes?" And I was like, "No." That judgment was just going in all different directions. And she's like, "Oh," and just kind of walked away. And I felt very judged. And look, these were from Shoe Dazzle. They were branded Shoe Dazzle, but they look exactly like the Valentino rock studs. They were a dupe for the Valentino rock stud. And, that is also, a gray area. There are a couple things that it could implicate: trade dress and patent law. This is not supposed to be like a legal, lecture or anything, so I'm not going to get into the idea of, trade dress too much. Let's talk about design patents. There was an instance where Alcazura had a design patent on its shoe. And design patents protect things that you can't protect by usually by copyright and trademark law. Again, nuances that I'm not going to get into, but Alcazura patented the design of their shoe. They went after Ivanka Trump's brand for infringing on their design patent. This is where brands usually get into more trouble when you have a design patent issue. You also just have this gray area of the law of public opinion. So if you will remember, there was a while back when a clothing designer went after Khloe Kardashian's brand Good American, saying, "Oh, she, or rather Good American, copied my designs, blah, 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 blah." I am pretty certain from what I remember reading, this clothing designer did not have design patents on her work. They just looked very similar. And if she doesn't have a design patent on the work, if she doesn't have a trademark, if she doesn't have legal protections, is it illegal to copy? In that case, probably not under the law. But law of public opinion, she put up these pictures and there was this uproar like, "Oh God, Khloe Kardashian, Kardashians are just stealing from the poor." Do you want this clothing designer to be able to protect her goods? That whole idea comes back to the idea of intellectual property law. And that's why if you want smaller brands and smaller companies to be able to protect their work, that's when you have to think about the idea that it can't just be about trying to take advantage and take money from designer luxury brands. You have to enforce it, all around. Then you get into this idea of parodies, fair use, derivatives, repurposings. That is even more of a gray area than dupes. If you want to talk 50 Shades of Gray, we'll talk 50 Shades of Gray here. It is, mind-blowing how unclear it could possibly be. Bring it back to this shirt. Is this a parody? Does that take away from Gucci? What if Gucci wants to have a licensing deal with Venice? So this is, oh God, this is so exciting. Okay, I need to show you these products that I got because this just falls into it. These are things that I got from an Etsy seller. I'm not going to say which Etsy seller because what I'm about to say is potentially controversial. Actually, it's definitely controversial. I also want to preface this by saying I love this Etsy seller and I love the products that I get from this Etsy seller. But, these products do bring up a question. What implications in the law do these products have? So here we have a little Gucci mini charm, a Louis Vuitton mini charm, and part of the marketing for these products is that these are authentic canvases. I'm not sure how the seller sources the materials. It brings up the question, is this a fake? No, because Louis Vuitton and Gucci do not sell anything like this. So this is not this seller trying to pass it off as a Louis Vuitton item. But, they are kind of using the trademark goodwill of Louis Vuitton and Gucci's logo because they're saying, oh, this is authentic. There's something about this canvas that is special and important. Is that wrong? you know, it's a gray area because this person is creating their own creations. This is adorable, original, cute. They're just happening to use upcycled materials. The interesting part is that one of these could be more okay than the other. So Gucci currently, you know, has this licensing deal with Disney, and they have Mickey Mouse splattered all over their bags. So Gucci arguably has more, you know, hair in the game because they're going to say, hey, Gucci has a licensing deal with Disney. People might think that this is a Gucci and Disney product, but Louis Vuitton doesn't necessarily have a strong argument because it's like, well, Louis Vuitton wouldn't be doing anything with Disney because it doesn't have that deal. I do want to say there is a difference between a fake and a dupe and a repurposing, derivative, whatever, parody, inspired by, all these different categories. There is a difference. It does matter because it affects smaller brands. It affects smaller businesses if they can't rely on, you know, intellectual property to protect them. And we need to be more cognizant of that. What's the absolute easiest thing that we can do? Don't buy fakes. Just don't buy fakes. Absolutely don't buy fakes. Just don't contribute to this illicit criminal undertaking. Just don't do that. Don't. And by now you are completely tired of hearing me talk. I totally get it. If you've made it this far in the video, you are a trooper. Please leave the word mini in the comments down below so I know how awesome a trooper you are for listening to this. Thank you so much. It's people like you out there that I do this for. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I really do appreciate it. Please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, do the thing. And until next time, bye.